Welcome to Certified Phresh, the interview series with artists and producers featured in the mixes of the aesthetic deity, the bus driver himself, the lean sommelier, your plug's favorite DJ, Ryan Celsius. I'm your host, JV. Head over to YouTube and tune in to Blaze Bus Radio, the Ryan Celsius live stream playing 24/7 lo-fi, experimental trap, funk, vaporwave, and other groovy tunes set to psychedelic visuals. On IG, he's at Ryan.Celsius. On SoundCloud, he's just Ryan Celsius. Follow Certified Phresh on IG at rc.certifiedphresh. That's fresh with a PH. Today's guest is Caspian Rose. Yet another member of the Holy Mob crew, Caspian contributed to one of the Mob's most popular tracks. This time around, we'll get his side of the story on how Yo Bitch a Fiend came about. We'll also discuss growing up in Toronto, Caspian's visit to Florida, and maybe this is the last time I ask a producer about mixing. Probably not. Let's get started. What's going on with you, man? How's your day been so far?
You know how it is, walking hangover, trying to hold it together today.
You were out partying?
No, we're good. Yeah, man.
Nice. You partying with friends or something?
Yeah, friends, old girlfriends, whatever, man.
That's what's up, man. So where are you from?
I am from Toronto, Canada.
Toronto, Canada. Okay.
Yes,
and
sir.
What was growing up there like?
Man, growing up in and around Toronto, because I moved around a little bit. But, man, it was crazy because it's like a really big city. Well, I guess by Canadian standard. I don't know. It's definitely smaller than like New York and stuff, but it's probably the most kind of recognized city in Canada. So, like, if you're downtown, it's kind of like the fast-paced, like, hustle and bustle. But if you live, like, on the outskirts, like, in a suburb and stuff, it's pretty chill. Like, you just do regular shit, like, play sports or whatever. Like, it's a pretty safe place to grow up low-key, but it's dope. It's real multicultural. So, you know, you get to meet a lot of different people, learn a lot of things like that. A lot of good artists in the city.
That's one thing that I've been talking about when I've been talking to like a lot of lo-fi and funk producers. A lot of you guys are coming out of Canada. Obviously, you got DJ Smokey.
Facts.
You know, some of the guys, some of the other guys from Holy Mob. And then as far as lo-fi production, there's Poir and Besaidu. What do you think is contributing to just the amount of heat that's coming out from Canada? Like, what do you really think opened up opportunities for more Canadian artists?
Man, you know what? Like, dead ass, I think it's the weather, man. Because, like, in the winters, everyone gets, like, the winter blues. Everyone gets all sad, whatever. No one leaves their house. Everyone's just, like, indoors. And it's kind of, you get, like, a lot of time to, I don't know, reflect. You can collect yourself. You got a lot of time to work on your artwork or whatever. So I know it's like in a lot of cold countries, there's a lot of like heat music coming out of there, probably because everyone's inside all day. Can't be doing other shit. Seriously.
I hear you. Does it get super, super cold up in Toronto?
It's not like the Arctic, but like unless there's a reason to go out and hang out or something, people just try to stick inside.
Oh, okay. So I got another question for you regarding the Toronto and the surrounding area. Have you ever been to Mississauga?
Yeah, bro. I lived there for a little bit.
Oh, okay. What was it like there?
It's not really like Toronto. It's pretty close, you know, but it's a little bit more like suburb-like, a little less populated, you know.
Okay.
There's not a huge amount of stuff going on there, but like it's pretty close to Toronto. So most people like, if they're trying to like catch a show or something or hang out, you know, they'll drive or take a train or something to Toronto. So, like kind of like the next closest city to it.
Okay. And have you ever been to the States before?
Yeah, I've been to New York, Florida, and I think that's it.
Shit, what was it like going down to Florida? I feel like that's a complete 180 from Toronto.
You know what? Like, okay, weather-wise, it's completely different, right? But you know, like the people that I ran into there, man, they were actually like hella similar. I saw like a lot of the areas that kind of like mirrored what was going on in Toronto. Like you had like those like bougie like neighborhoods and all those like artsy like expensive places. But then you also kind of had like these places that are like kind of like the hood to the side. It was weird. It was chill. It was like a warm version of Toronto with nice beaches.
You brought up a good point, or an interesting point, rather. Toronto real estate's just been skyrocketing in price. What's been contributing to that?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it has something to do with it's like a hot spot for like immigration kind of thing. So everybody, and also it's easily the dopest city in like Canada. Well, one of them, right? Mm-hmm. So like, there's not a lot of other cities that are kind of like in demand like that. Everybody wants to live in Toronto, but obviously they can only build houses and condos and shit so fast. So whoever's got the most money can kind of move out here.
Yeah, I definitely hear that. I don't live in Washington D.C. I live in Baltimore, Maryland, and right. It's definitely more on the expensive side. But D.C. sounds like the same way as Toronto, where if you got the money, you can live there. But it's definitely not. It's not for the faint of heart, financial wise.
And if you're like young and stuff, like realistically, you're gonna be working all day, or you're gonna have like a bunch of roommates. And like you're gonna be spending like most of your income on like rent and food and shit. Like it's struggle for sure.
Yeah, absolute struggle. That's the shit. That's the name of the game. So let's jump into making music. How did you get started with music? It seems like a lot of producers were in band in school or something like that. Is that the same story for you?
I started out playing guitar, when I was like a little kid. And I don't know, I think it was like my uncle who played guitar. He bought me like a kind of like a shitty acoustic guitar for one of my earlier birthdays. But I really liked it. I would like fuck around on it. I didn't know anything about it, obviously, right? But I liked it enough that I asked like asked my mom if I could get guitar lessons. I forget how old I was. I want to say like 7 or 8 or something. And so she enrolled me in that. And I got like addicted to that shit, man. Like for years, I would just play that every day, all day. I was listening to like a lot of bands and stuff. And then I kind of like, the only hip-hop thing I really like was Get Rich or Die Trying, 50 Cent.
Yeah.
And then later though, like in high school is like when I really got into hip-hop. I started like listening to like the SoundCloud scene and like all the old stuff, all the classics like Nas and Biggie and shit, Outkast.
Who are some of your favorite classic artists?
In any genre?
Yeah, sure.
Man, I fuck with like Nirvana, like David Bowie, Pac, 50, Outkast, Pimp C, 3 6 Mafia, DJ Screw, Young Lean. Like they're all fire as fuck. I think Travis Scott right now is crazy. He's probably the best kind of new artist that I've seen in the last like 10 years for real.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man, he's crazy. I've never even seen like, usually like a mainstream artist kind of like they're a little poppy or whatever, but man, I don't know. I've seen him like, I've been following since like he was dropping mixtapes, and like watching him like grow as like into like a superstar is pretty crazy. I've never seen that before.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I was talking to, I can't remember what producer I was talking to, but he was saying that Travis Scott, with his most recent album, Astroworld's got a lot of funk vibes on there. Would you agree with that?
I don't know about like funk vibe. I would say just like southern vibe. Because I mean, he's from Houston, right? Like that's literally where Screw Sound originated. So like, I feel like that's just like kind of like the OG influence, more so than like the funk. But you know who had a lot of funk on their project, man? A$AP Rocky. That Testing album, man, that had like real funk on that shit, like that. And man, somebody else dropped a song. Oh yeah, 21 Savage's last album, man, he had a funk beat on there. Fucking Drake had a funk beat on his album. It's crazy.
Nice, that's what's up. Is your phone going off right now?
Yeah, man, I'll just mute it.
So let's talk about you making funk tracks. When did that all start for you?
I guess like when I first started making it, I didn't know like the genre name or anything like that. I was making it like when I first downloaded like a cracked FL Studio like in high school, and I was like trying to figure out how to make beats and stuff. I had heard like DJ Smokey and Young Good. They did a song that was like Neighborhood Ho or whatever. And I heard that and I was like, man, this is dope. So like then I tried doing some similar shit, like chopping like 3/6 vocal loops and shit over the kind of like cloud trap beats and whatever. And I guess that was, at the time, I didn't know what it was called, but that was like when I started making funk. And then I want to say like 2-3 years ago is when I actually was like, oh, yo, this is the type of music I'm making. I'm going to post it, share it, see what's up.
When you first started doing that, were you going by Courage back then?
Yeah, that was the like first name. And I changed it because like when I first made the SoundCloud, I didn't expect anything from it. I kind of just wanted to like post. And so they were like, all right, you need a name. So I just kind of impulsively chose that. I have no idea. Didn't really like think on that one. So, yeah.
Okay. I want to talk a little bit about SoundCloud back when you first started versus what the landscape is like now. What's been the biggest difference between then and now?
I feel like SoundCloud is kind of like dying. Not because there's not like underground artists or whatever contributing to it. It's backed up by like labels more these days than like independent artists. I remember you used to like go on SoundCloud and you would see like Suicide Boys mixtapes and stuff like on the homepage. Now you go and there's like, they'd be like having advertisements like for like Post Malone and shit. Like what the fuck? Like that shit does not make any sense to me. And also I noticed like a lot of like that kind of selling repost wave and all that made everybody's like feeds kind of messy, I guess. Everyone was seeing things that they weren't necessarily like subscribed to seeing, and just kind of like killed the vibe. Like people were not streaming on their homepage anymore. It was getting all like saturated. It definitely changed.
You said selling reposts, so how does that work? Like a bigger artist will sell a repost from a smaller artist?
Yeah. Like it started off like harmless, right? It would be like, let's say like a new artist, whatever, you're new to the scene, whatever, but you finally have that one track that you think is like, oh, like this is dope, this is worth sharing. So you'll find like another artist, usually like in the same kind of genre that you're making, and not all of them offer this, but some of them, I guess, is a side hustle. You sell like a repost, so they'll repost the smaller artist song, and the smaller artist is hoping that it would reach like a bigger audience, right? Bigger audience. I guess people started abusing that. Everybody started buying reposts. Everybody started selling reposts. And there was no really like quality control. Like people weren't, I'll only like sell you the repost if the song is like genuinely dope or whatever. People just started reposting whatever the fuck anyone could pay for. And the prices were getting cheaper and the reposts were getting shittier. But it started polluting like the homepages for real. I think everyone kind of got sick of it. Everyone I know is like tired of that.
Really?
So I don't know. I think that had an impact on it. Plus, like with the industry stuff always being like promoted, it's kind of like fucking with the independent artists that have been grinding, you know?
Yeah, it sounds like with SoundCloud, the issue, I mean, that repost, that the pay for repost sounds just like payola back in the day with radio. You just throw somebody some cash to get your track on the air. But then what's really messing with the ecosystem, like you said, is these not independent, these bigger labels with that big money and the big backing, just kind of coming in and pushing out, to be honest, pushing out the guys that gave SoundCloud the opportunity to get to that point. Is that what you think?
Right. Yeah, I would agree with that 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. Like they kind of forgot their roots. Like they kind of forgot why SoundCloud even became as big as it did. And I think like they're under pressure now with like how well other streaming platforms are growing, like Spotify and stuff. So they're trying to like turn into something they're not. They're trying to like compare themselves to that. But they had a different system that was working just fine, and they should have just kind of stuck with.
When you change your name from Courage to Caspian Rose, there are some Holy Mob tracks that still have the old name. How long ago, like when did you first link up with them?
Man, probably like, I want to say like almost 2 years ago. I probably got an email or a DM or an email from Vaughn, and I had like no followers, like for real. I think I had like 100 followers, and he just DM'd me. He's like, yo, your track's dope. You want to like make some songs together or whatever? And he put me in like a Facebook group chat, talk to some other people. He's like, yo, this is dope. Some chill people. And the rest is it's like a snowball effect. Just start fucking with everybody. Everyone starts getting these ideas, and it's dope.
Yeah, I want to get to that in a second. Obviously, one of the tracks that you co-produced with Intius is like a Holy Mob favorite. When you were first in Holy Mob, how long did it take from you joining the group to like actually be able to contribute to one of the the mixes, like one of the volume mixes?
Oh, like right away, bro. Like as soon as I joined, we were like, "Yo, let's do the first mixtape," and so I was on that first tape. Yeah, we got to work right away. It was cool.
Nice. And it's true that there's like a version of one of the mixtapes that is out, and then there's a version that that was unreleased that has a different track listing. Is that true?
Yeah. There's like I feel like Holy Mob was like revamped before it even kind of became a thing. Like there was like people in it, and they had like a little mixtape. It was weird. So they got all these like new people, and like some of these old people like weren't fucking with the idea or whatever. So I guess we kind of just like made a whole new tape with like the new people. The unreleased one is like the old kind of tracks. It's shorter too, I think.
Oh, okay. Do you remember if it was volume 2 or volume 1?
It was volume 1. Yeah, it was like the first thing posted.
Gotcha. And has Vaughn always done the art for the mixtapes?
I think so. Yeah. Since like the beginning, he did a couple collabs with other artists, but for the most part, he's always kind of the executive art guy.
Oh, nice. What's your favorite cover?
Oh man, probably volume 5.
Oh, is that the one with M. Bison?
Yeah. I think that's dope.
Hell
That's
yeah.
dope. It's got like a little like video game cover vibe.
Yeah.
Retro cover.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Let's move over to Ryan Celsius now. How did you first hear about him? Was it with Holy Mob, or you had heard from him like before you even linked up with them?
Man, how did I hear about it? I was thinking about this the other day. I think like I had seen those like Trapping in Japan like compilation videos on YouTube, and I checked them out, and then I was like, oh yeah, this is a dope idea, you know, like compile the music, put some visuals, like this is a dope way to spread it. And then I remember people on Holy Mob were like, yo, you guys know like Ryan Celsius? And then I actually looked at him, I was like, oh, that's that dude who makes those videos. So yeah, that's kind of how I like put 2 and 2 together. I was like, yeah, I've seen the videos, and then I actually figured out what Ryan Celsius was. So it's cool.
What do you think his impact has been on the funk lo-fi music scene?
I think it's good. It's almost like because Ryan Celsius is like almost only posting that. It's like really caters to that lo-fi funk underground scene. Like they're not posting any bullshit videos on like you know how like you always see like 6ix9ine is in the news and stuff. Like you go on your Instagram feed, and it's just so much like washed up music, shit that we don't even need advertised to us. Like we can find that shit easily on our own. So I think like Ryan Celsius is doing a good job like spreading kind of a unknown sound, but one that people would like, you know. He gets a good response on YouTube, all the comments, all the likes, like people clearly they fuck with it. So shout out Ryan Celsius.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure it'll change by the time I edit this down and publish the interview, but he's creeping up on 350,000 subscribers on YouTube, so it's really
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's really awesome. Yeah, definitely. It's really awesome to see the things have been growing, and I've been a part of the community for a little over, I want to say about 1.5 years now, and just from then until now, like I didn't know how young, if I want to use that word, how young his live stream was, because I think he had started it in I want to say on 4/20 of 2017, I believe, because that's when I think the first Trapping in Japan came out.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, and I could be totally wrong, but just in that time, I kind of found out about it like everybody else did. I was just at work, and I was looking for something to listen to while I was doing work, and I saw the Blaze Bus live stream, like thumbnail type thing, and I said, all right, I'll just check it out, and then look where I am now. I haven't left since.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, you seen that music, it was like, yo, this is dope. A whole new vibe.
Yeah, and that's what I love most about it, is that it's just a vibe that I'd never really heard of. I couldn't really put a name to it, but then the more I listened to it, the more I kind of educated myself on what's going on. Yeah, you start to
learn what it is, where it comes from. Like, yeah, it's cool. There's a whole culture behind it for sure.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to push that culture and kind of give people that vibe, slowly but surely we're getting there.
Familiarize people with it, yeah.
So speaking of the community, in the time that you've been making funk music and just been involved in the SoundCloud scene in general, have you ever been involved in any drama, or has any crazy shit unfolded that you just watched from afar?
Man, I've seen a bunch of bullshit, but like, no, I don't think I was ever involved in anything, man. I usually like, man, that's like some high school drama shit. That's some shit I never want to get involved with. Like, I don't see the point in like beefing and shit on the internet, or like being upset over like just little dumb random bullshit. You're better off just like focusing on the people that like you fuck with and like making the music you want and pushing that. There hasn't been anything crazy though. I think for the most part, like everyone kind of gets along. There's a little bit of like ego shit with some people, but it's whatever. Like, it's not even a serious thing.
Yeah, and I think that just happens like whenever.
Everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally anywhere in the world, bro. Like, it's expected.
So let's talk about your contributions to a Holy Mob favorite, Yo Bitch a Fiend. I'm pretty sure that's off of Volume 5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's off of Volume 5, and I spoke with Intius about it as well. I know that he helped with the production. Shout out Intius, but according to him, most of the track was actually your brainchild when you guys had met up in, I think you guys met up in Toronto, right?
Yeah. We had like a little Airbnb, like this dope condo, like looking over the CN Tower. So we were like cooking up in there for like a few days.
Looking over the what towers?
Yeah, the CN Tower. It's like the kind of like the Toronto landmark.
Oh,
One point, it was like the tallest building in the world. Like, not even close anymore, but it's like a dope view. So like to have that in the background, I don't know, kind of like set a vibe, right? So I was like, we were just going through like old samples and stuff that I had collected, and I found the sample for that track. I had already chopped it, but I didn't like the way it turned out, so I was like, yo, Intius, like, hop on this. Like, he just hopped on my laptop, he put on like headphones on, and like 15 minutes later, he's like, yo, well, what do you think of this? And he played like the loop for me, like the basic chop, and I knew like right there, I was like, oh, yo, that's hot, like, that's fire, we're gonna finish this like right now. And the track came together so fast, bro. Like, literally, he's like, all right, yo, give me like 10 more minutes. He found like the vocal chop and shit. And the crazy shit is like, it's a Lil Xan song. And like, like Lil Xan is not exactly synonymous with like being a good artist kind of thing. Like, he has a lot of haters. He's like always like controversial and shit. But like, man, we made him sound fucking good, bro. Like, I even like, I cut up what I did was like I chopped the sample to make the phrase "Yo bitch a fiend," because like in the original he doesn't say that, so I like Frankenstein that up. Another thing is like there was like a little like Pimp C sample I threw in there. I let him do like the main. He had like these simple drums in, and I really liked it. I didn't want to like overcomplicate it. I liked like the bounce of it. Just played around with the bass line a little bit, so do like little switch ups and shit, just to keep it interesting. But we kept it pretty clean. Like, we didn't want to add all these random things in it. We thought the track was good the way it was. Like, hard sample, hard vocals, like wavy drums. Like, yeah, I think it probably took us like only a couple hours to do that.
How long does it normally take for you to make a track?
Oh man, it depends. Like, oh man, that's actually a good question. Like, that really depends on like what I'm making, what's it for. When I'm cooking up with people, like, in person, like I did on that track, shit goes way quicker. I don't know what it is. Like, there's definitely some kind of energy in a room or something, dude. Like, when everyone's, like, vibing and shit, you're not really, like, you're just having fun with it. I feel like music comes out best when you're just having fun with it, seriously. Yep. It comes out quick. It comes out sounding good as fuck. Like,
yeah.
If you get too sciencey with it, and you sit down and, like, you start overthinking it, man, you go crazy. You start hallucinating. You're like, man, the mix isn't good, whatever. And you could sit there for hours. You could revisit it for the same project every day for like a week and just not be satisfied with it. So
that's yeah. I'm glad that you mentioned that. That kind of leads me into two things that I want to talk about. The first question I have is, as somebody that's been making music for a few years now, especially with funk music, what do you think is the best, or let me back up. What do you think is the hallmark, or fuck? I'm trying to figure out how I want to say. Okay, so you've been making this funk music for a while now. what is the number one thing that if you listen to a track, you can tell the difference between like a good producer and like an amateur producer?
Originality, I guess. A lot of people who like get into scenes and stuff, not that there's anything inherently wrong with this, but like you could tell like if someone's using the same kind of obvious samples that everyone's been using, the same drums and shit, you could tell like, oh, okay, they're just figuring it out still, you know, before they get their own sound or whatever. But somebody that can actually like come up with something new, something like innovative, and it sounds good as fuck, it's like, oh, okay, that's the one who's actually figured it out. Like they're pushing the boundaries of it. They're like pushing the sound. They're like broadening the horizon of it. They're not trying to make it so one-dimensional. Like a good producer is someone that is like creative. So
a follow-up question I had to that, for you personally, what is the one thing that you'll just obsess over with a track? Like, is it the mixing? Is it the drums? Is it the sample?
Man, I feel like I'm kind of like OCD, like perfectionist. I always try to get like everything right. If like one thing isn't sitting, I just say like fuck it, like it's not even worth. I don't know, because I know like it's better to like set the bar high. Like there's no point settling for like mediocre. You know what I mean? So yeah. I usually start with samples and stuff. Like I feel like if the melody or the sample isn't good, then just forget it. You know, just start there. Start with like good notes and stuff, and then you want the drums to be banging for sure. Like you can't just have like one good thing. I feel like everything has to be dope. You know, vocal chops are dope for sure, but I think mixing is a big thing too. Like you can have like the dopest beat on earth, but like if the mix is completely botched, like it's gonna sound kind of like bad. You can have like a normal beat, but it could be mixed real good. It's gonna slap, you know. Like you play it in the car, someone's gonna like it.
So I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about that. As I've been talking with producers, I've been learning more and more about making music because I've never made music or anything like that. How do you get, let's say for example, an 808? How do you get it to sound so good in your car, but when you look at it in a DAW or something like that, it's not clipping or anything? Is that the mixing?
Yeah, that's all mixing. Like, but you know what? Sound selection is part of it too. Like some sounds naturally they don't blend together that good, even if you mix a lot. The whole idea is to try and make it sound as good as you can before the mixing phase, because then that means you chose the right sounds. Everything's sitting naturally together, like real nice. And so yeah, the mixing is like how you make everything. Like you make the snares like snap your neck, like the 808s like shake your car, and you master it so everything's like hard hitting, but nothing is clipping. Like everything's just a nice clean listen. Like that's usually the goal when you're mixing.
Is mastering different from mixing?
Yeah, for sure. Like mixing is like the process of, well, literally that, like mixing all the individual, I guess you could say mixer tracks. So like all the layers, all the drums, it's mixing them all together so they're working together. So like the song sounds good. And then mastering is like something you do at the end. Like once you've done the mix as good as you can master a song and it'll like, usually you can make it a little bit louder without like squishing the track. It's not going to sound distorted or anything. It's going to have like a fullness to it, like a full sounding quality to it. It makes it sound a little professional, and it makes it sound better in like cars. I noticed cars and like clubs and stuff.
Do you think that music is equal parts art and science?
Yeah, 100%, bro. Like some of the best artists I know, man, they're so minimal with it. Like it's literally all about the music for them. Like they'll literally record like a ukulele on their like iPhone. They'll throw it in GarageBand, they'll sing over it, and it'll be like this like lo-fi, like acoustic track almost. And it'll sound so fucking good. And I know a lot of people who like they get super technical with it, like trying to get the mix perfect. They're talking all this like jargon and shit, but the song is like not very, I don't know, it's like not really original, or it's like not really that cool. So I feel like, I don't know, I feel like at the end of the day, music is more art than it is science. But if you can do both, like that's the best.
Yeah, definitely. What would you say you are? So you're leaning more towards the art side than the science side?
I'm trying to achieve both for real. Like I feel like if you really want to reach like your full potential as an artist and offer everything that you can, then you have to get the art down, but also like the science down, because that's how you're gonna like elevate the artwork aspect of things. Like you're gonna just take it to a whole new level. So I feel like they work hand in hand, but generally, like, music is art. Like, that's the best way to describe it.
Gotcha. Okay. Looking back over your production history, starting out as Courage and now making tracks with Holy Mob and just releasing stuff as Caspian Rose, what was the one thing that took you to the next level when producing? Like
in terms of sound quality, or like getting people to listen to my stuff?
Let's go for both. Let's first start with sound quality. What's the one thing that once you figured it out, you were just like, oh, my shit's gonna slap now?
It's the same as any skill. Like, you can never just learn anything quickly. Like, it takes time. So, like, gradually, like, I think I just noticed every time I make projects, I'm like, oh, this is the best one yet. It's better than the last one. And you keep doing that, and over, like, a long period of time, you notice, like, oh, there's been a big improvement over time. It's never like one event or one thing you learn that changes everything completely. But yeah, I mean, just learning how to like not box yourself in, like learning how to like be comfortable with like making what you want to make, and like learning how to like mix it so everything sounds good. Like, it's just a combination of things. It's never just one thing.
Gotcha. What are you doing in the background, man? You cleaning a gun?
No, man, my bad. I dropped a bunch of coins, so I tried to. Yeah, I didn't want it to like fall into like a vent or something, so I picked them up.
Oh, I feel that, man. Do you live by yourself?
Not really, no. It's complicated.
So what do you do outside of music? What do you do when you're not making music with the Holy Mob gang?
Bro, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm making music like all day, every day. Like, seriously, like, this is really the only thing that I feel like, I don't want to get like too deep, and I don't want to get like all corny and shit. But
no, man, get deep, get corny.
Like, it's my favorite thing to do, and it's probably the thing I'm best at doing. So the way I see it is like, what else is there for me to be doing? You know what I mean? Like, I just try to spend as much time as I can, like, perfecting my craft, trying to make something out of it. That's the way I see it. I hang out with friends and shit. You know, I might catch a movie or something. I definitely like to take little breaks. Like, I like to kind of check out other forms of art too, like paintings, film. You can get a lot of inspiration from things that aren't music. You know, life itself. Like, I feel like if you're too boxed in, you're not gonna get any inspiration. So it's still important to like live a normal life. But I spend most of my time making music.
Do you think different experiences will translate to different inspirations when you're making a track?
Definitely. I think it's like a subconscious thing. Sometimes you'll be making something and you won't even have like an idea in your mind exactly what you want, but it'll kind of just come out naturally, like sounding however, I don't know, maybe like the way you're feeling or whatever, or a place you've been to, or like something you've seen, like a movie you've seen, or a person you know. Like, it's weird. I feel like everything in your brain is getting back working together to like formulate your own opinions, your own styles, and that just translates into any form of artwork, really, whether you're like a musician or a painter or whatever.
Is there a track or a project you can distinctly remember how you were feeling when you made it, or it represents a certain emotion or time in your life that you were going through?
Man, the low-key, the heaviest tracks I have, like, in terms of, like, the most sentimental to me, I've, like, low-key never released, like, any of them. Like, I have, like, tracks where, like, I'm, like, singing on them. Like, I'm probably gonna drop those eventually. But, yeah, those ones, I'm kind of, like, saving for a special project. We'll see what's up with that. Those ones always, like, have, like, actual story, like, actual shit I've been through, or places that stuck with me, things that I think about.
Just life shit, like...
Yeah. Like normal shit, you know. Literally regular day-to-day shit, just how trying to get by. Regular shit that everyone can relate to. Being broke, or like having a good week or something. Or like, you know, feeling like you're on top of the world, or versus like feeling like you're down, whatever. Like, it's just a reflection of day-to-day life, for real.
Yeah, I got you, man. Well, I'll tell you this. Whenever you start to release those, you got the perfect name for it. Anytime I'll listen to your music, or even when I was setting this up, I was just like, damn, Caspian Rose is a dope name. How'd you come up with it?
It's crazy because that's something I thought of originally, like way back. Like, I always like would look at really good artists I like, and I always saw like the common thread was like they all have fucking names that I really fuck with. All of them. I don't know what it is. You think of like so many of these icons, and their names are just so fucking cool. Like I can't think of any of like my favorite artists that have like a weird or whack name. So I thought I was like, oh man, what would be like a cool kind of like stage name? Like if I was a singer or something. I came up with that a while ago, but I didn't use it until I was certain, like, yo, that's the one. That one's fire.
Or does it have any type of significance? Because when I think of Caspian, there's like, I don't know exactly where it is in Europe, but there's the Caspian Sea.
Yeah, there's a sea. Yeah, there's some reasoning behind it. I'm probably gonna go into that more in depth, like in the future, but that's part of it. Like, I wanted the name to sound kind of grand, you know, like when you think of the Caspian Sea, like that's a fucking sea, bro. Like, what's more like mysterious than like underwater life? What's like bigger than a human? Like the ocean, man. That shit is massive. So I thought it'd be cool to like take a name after like something like an ocean, or like they have like parks, like famous national parks and stuff, and it's just really beautiful. It's really scenic. So I came up with Caspian from Caspian Sea, and then the rose was like, it's my favorite flower. I just kind of put the two together. There's a little more to it, but I'll get into that one day.
Yeah, of course, man. So let's start closing out here. What are you working on now? What projects you got coming up?
Man, I'm trying to drop like a couple tapes for sure. Definitely a funk tape. And then I'm probably going to start releasing the tracks with me doing vocal work.
And that's still going to be under Caspian Rose?
Yeah, that's going to be the main thing for sure.
Word, that's what's up, man. How can people find your music or hit you up and just say hey?
Man, Instagram, Twitter, SoundCloud, wherever, man. For real. DM me, I'll probably reply. I'll reply to I read like everything on my messages.
And all of your handles, all of your usernames on social media are just Caspian Rose?
Everything is at Caspian Rose except Twitter, because I don't know why it was taken. So Twitter's a little different. It's at Caspian Rose. So instead of Rose, it's Rozay.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right, cool, man. You have anything else you want to talk about that we haven't already gone over?
I think we pretty much covered everything.
Cool, man. I appreciate you sitting down with me and bearing with me when I was having my sound issues.
Yeah, man, no problem. Pleasure's mine.
Yeah, awesome, man. You take it easy.
Yeah, man. Easy.
Thanks again, Caspian, for sitting down with us. You can find him on Instagram at Caspian Rose. That's CaspianRose. It does look like he's more active on SoundCloud, though. We'll be back soon with another interview from the producers that are certified fresh. I'm JV. Thanks for listening.